when I'm when I'm attuning into books and feeling the energy of who's going to buy this book, I often listen to the sounds outside. So there was a horn there. As soon as I put deer, as soon as I wrote deer, and the horn beat, and instantly that was my message to say, clear the noise, find your peace. Do not let these distractions hold you back from moving forward. That's how sometimes I attune to personal messages when I write them in the book, just so you know. Okay. Hello, everybody. Can you all hear me? Is my microphone working well enough tonight? Is it okay? Do you hear me well? Just a yes would be great. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Great question asked. Why do we give power to the teachers? Fabulous question. I ask myself that every time I'm in circle and I watch all of these men and women look in the eyes of the teacher as if they're the answer, they're the guru, they're the God. I've spent most of my years teaching that we are simply a messenger for the message. And all of us are equal in that respect. It's just some do it because they feel passionate to do it. But when you're sat with a grandmother, a child, like today, I was sat with a child and I spoke to that child, and that child said something to me, and she was my teacher. And I often say that children, I wrote it down somewhere as well. Often children are brought into this world to teach us the things that we forgot. And for some strange reason, this idea of, think about it, guys. It's pretty simple, really, when you look at it from the aspect of why we look at teachers in that way, is because we were beaten to, we were forced to, we were brainwashed to. That's why. So now we look at all teachers in the same respect. And even when a guru says, you've got it all wrong. Don't look at me. You've got it all wrong. I'm not the Messiah. Listen to me. You're individuals. You get a whole crowd staring back up saying, tell me what I need to do then. Tell me what I need to think. Tell me what I need to feel. That's why. Welcome, everybody. I know it's not 8 o'clock yet, but this will be on a record. So anybody who misses the first 5 or 10 minutes, they can always look back on it, hopefully. I'd like to welcome you all here for a no holds barred conversation. This was channeled this afternoon when I thought it's a good idea to do this, Mark. And it's not just about you, it's about me. How strong have I become? Am I willing to accept questions that other people dread and fear? To be honest, I don't fear questions. I never have and I never will. Some answers won't be liked, but that's not my issue. You have to deal with that. Whether you like what comes out of my mouth or not is irrelevant. It always has been. What you get from it, what knee-jerk reactions you have are your issues, just like I had issues with my teachers. But there's nothing wrong with asking hard questions. You know, there's nothing wrong with asking the questions that I asked, which, you know, the teachers struggled with and they didn't want me to even dare. How dare you ask a question like that to me, a medium who's been doing this for years? Like, but hang on, mate, aren't you a teacher? It's the question is within me. It's not anger. It's like, I just don't get it. And I'm just asking you the question. So before we start, I'd like to explain something as well. When I first started this work, it became evident to me that I was upsetting a lot of people, and I was stealing a lot of money away from people. I was taking away a lot of people's power. That video has done over 500,000, and it's upset a lot of those that are not in the field of work that we are, which is love and healing. And that is many of the covens, many of the witches, and those who are in the kind of cults that believe or want you to believe that they have power to be able to cast spells. And I made the video on curses, voodoo, and spells, witchcraft, for a reason. And I want to start tonight with the reason why I made that video and why I'm talking to you about this now before I start answering some questions. First of all, most of you who know me knows the story about the bottle up there of the shaman that stole a lot of money from one of my good friends who's a famous singer. And he told her that there was her demons inside of that bottle, and if she ever dropped it or opened it, that she must come back as quickly as she could to find him, and he would get the demons, put them in the bottle again. So every time I used to do a pure energy healing course, and there was maybe 4 or 5 or 8 people or 20 or 50 people, depending on where I was in the world, teaching 4 days pure energy healing, this bottle would come out and make everybody smell it. And I'd say my friend is doing really well and very happy. So I made a video on that as well, which was the spells. It was part of that. And I'm going to tell you something now I've never spoke about before. Never. And it's a good time to talk about it because we say we're going to be open about things, okay? My first mentor was a Wiccan high priestess. Now, as far as I'm aware, there's different levels of witches and Wiccans, and then it goes deeper into satanic. And then you've got many different covens. These are groups of people who believe that the dark is good and that the good is bad. I'm going to tell you a story about a lady who contacted me, and she said to me when that video first came out, which was about, it may have been 2 years after the video came out, she was pulled, she was a psychic herself, and she was pulled into a coven by these devious, by this devious group. And this group basically hooked her into this kind of coven. And she lasted, I think, about 9 months. And she sent me a message and she said, I want to tell you a story. And she said, she was pulled into a coven. I'm not going to say where or anything about her because I wouldn't want to get her into trouble. And I do know for a fact that many of these people watch me all the time. So she said the reason why she left was because she noticed that they were targeting people of light. And she said, you were one of them due to the fact that you made a video and you talked about the darkness has no power. And she said there was one particular night that they were going to do a ritual and my name was in the ritual. And she said what she noticed is she didn't go to the ritual and she'd heard about me. And she said a week after that, the 8 people who did the ritual, 4 of them ended up in bad accidents. And there was another 2 who were sick, who were physically sick for a while. And she said it really made me see things in a different way. Now, the reason why I share this with you is because I have made videos before and I have said to you that when I was a young lad, that I don't know why, and I still didn't know why till this day, that people would do bad things to me and then something would happen to them. Now, I would never, ever think bad thoughts. I would just cry and ask myself, why were they doing this to me? And one particular lad who came from another country and he was bullied at school, started picking on me. And I always remember he was so angry at me and jealous, and I had no idea why, but he said he was going to kill me. One day I'm going to kill you, he said, and he meant it. And I was so scared. And I didn't hardly go to school thereafter, one of the reasons why, of course. And soon after, he hung himself. Point being is that the times that I've written about certain thoughts and feelings in a book that I don't share with anybody, if you were to ask me what conclusion all of this is, I would say that each person who casts a positive spell on somebody, each person who sends love to somebody, each person that gives somebody healing with the intent of healing them and making them feel better, receives that healing tenfold. But as yin and yang, there is also an opposite. When you send darkness to somebody and your thoughts are dark, you receive the same energy and frequency that you want to give to somebody else. So in a matter of fact, when you are angry with somebody, when you are jealous of somebody, when you wish somebody harm, all you're doing, in my humble opinion, is wishing yourself harm, because you are creating that very harm from within. So you are part of that harm to begin with. So that would be my suggestion, in a way of sitting and having a think about that, ponder on it for a while. And I've always had this understanding when people have asked me is that I don't hate anybody, because I can't love anybody if I hate somebody. I can't feel ultimate love if I've got hate inside me. But actually, that's quite a wonderful thing to think, because I have never hurt myself by wanting anybody hurt or harmed. So please think about that the next time you hate somebody like Bill Gates or this is deliberate, so that you harm yourself by your hate towards somebody. You can dislike what somebody's doing and you can find ways of shining a light on that, but don't ever send hate to anybody, because all what will ever happen is that hate will come back to yourself. Thus, why does nothing ever happen to the bad people? Maybe they already know this, and maybe they say these things because they know that you're going to harm yourself. Maybe there's a law somewhere that's unwritten and we don't know about. And maybe me and you probably already know this deep down, and it makes sense. And we can say, yeah, Jesus Christ, this makes sense. So maybe constant 24 news, what they send to you and you're angry, is just that, which is the program that makes you angry. And then you become the hate and you become the disease and you die. It's just food for thought. It might be a load of bullshit, or it might be of a resonance inside you that thinks some of that might make sense. Anyway, who knows? But I just be who I am. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate people for when somebody, just to clarify something, if somebody attacks me, that's a different thing. I have no time for that. But if you've got questions that you want to ask that you think, oh, this is going to be a little bit hit, I don't want to embarrass Mark. You can't embarrass me because I've got nothing to hide. You can only embarrass somebody when somebody's got something to hide. So you can ask me what you want and I will answer the question if it's relevant to what you're asking. And I'm thinking, okay, that I understand why you're asking. Anybody else would think it was awful, but I get it. So it's 8 o'clock now. So we'll begin. First question. That's a hi. Hi. Second question. Happiest of Sundays to you too, Shane. Thank you so much. Good evening, Mark. Hand waving back. I'm trying to go through these so you can see I'm not bullshitting and I'm not trying to not answer any questions. Hi, everyone. Bumblebee. Hi there. Hello from Florida. Is that the Orange County? I don't know. Hi from Canada. Hello, Canada. Where are you from? Are you from London, Ontario? Where are you? Hi, everybody. Hi, Andy. Hi, everybody. There's a lot of highs going on here right at the top of the screen. So I'm going through all of them. Hi, Sean. Hi. Okay, let's keep going. Let's find the first question. Yeah, so many beautiful souls on here. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys. Switzerland. I have an uncle in Lugano. Beautiful island. Yeah, I think we shouldn't be looking for it. We should be creating it. Well said. We'll get there in a minute. I'm sure there's going to be some questions here. I'm trying to go through everyone. That's an interesting point. I know a lot of children that used to come to me with their mums used to do certain things when they were stressed or when they couldn't find the answer to something or when they couldn't see the wood from the trees. That build-up has to come out some way. So the child could cut themselves, they could bite other people or bite themselves. They could hit themselves over a hammer. I wrote about that in my book and posted it online today. And some people want to try to take their life, and so off. So these are the reasons why. So in times of trials and upset, I cut my hair, make a mess. I can't help it. It's not that you can't help it. It's a way of release. It's a way of letting go and wanting somebody to see that your state of being it needs help. It needs help. And it's like before you do that, you need to get a healing session. You need to say, okay, this is a state that I need to heal myself. I need to let go. My suggestion is go for a run if you're able to do that. And a run or an exercise that would absolutely exhaust you. And that way you pass that moment of the time that you want to do something and you're calling out for help. but also you need somebody to help you. There's times that I need help, times that I need somebody just to hear what I've got to say. And sometimes things are so hard that I can't see them because they're so close. It's so close you can't see it. And somebody steps out and sees you from far away. And a lot of you guys can see when I'm tired, and you'll say, you know, Mark, you need a rest. You look a bit tired. And I don't see it until it whacks me out. So I don't know if I've helped there, Karen, but you're no different from any of us, but we all do it in different ways. Some people turn to the bottle, some people turn to drink, some people, you know, just, we all do our own thing, and it's just a cry for help. Minnesota. Beautiful souls. Yeah, the nervous system is an interesting one because it's so deep. The nervous system looks like a tree. So my suggestion is a nice clear quartz, but to begin with, nice clear quartz, go into Mother Nature, go by a tree and sit by a tree and just hold the crystal in your hand for half an hour every day for 3 months. And you find that there's something about a tree that brings you back to balance, especially the nervous system. It's what I saw as a healing process. It worked really well. There are many other crystals that you can choose. I could probably name 20 or 30 of them right now. But I think the best thing to do is flick through a crystal book and see which one resonates with you. Don't look at what it's called. Just look at the crystal, what feels right. Okay. I don't know why I'm saying this, but for some reason I feel Larimar would be really helpful as well. So it's something you can try. Angel Heart. Florida. Hello, London. Hi, Brendan. How are you? Question. Thank you. Are we all in such circles, becoming too bitchy, lazy, ungrateful, instead of taking life and its problems head on, creating the answer? Yeah, well, you know, that's not a question asked. That's a question answered. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And this is like all other things in life, Brendan. We cannot force these kind of truths on anybody. They'll only understand it when they're ready. But thank you for that. It's a beautiful way of putting it. You certainly got a gift. Well, I tell you what, I did that for 9 months and it was beautiful. Let me just share something. The book is within you and the pen is up here, and you can write and create anything you want. Writing inside your heart is equal to writing in a book as well. South Wales, beautiful. That's because most people have now been feared and brainwashed to stay inside. We'll soon understand this in the years to come. That's a great question. There's so many. The one that springs to mind, a dual energy, fantastic for this kind of work, because I've worked with special needs kids that came to me, and it's called Super 7. And Super 7 holds quite a lot of different frequencies in there that really helped children. Absolutely love the crystal from Pune, which is called Cavensite. That's good for calming all situations down, you know, because there's a lot of stress daily in special needs children, in the sense of you know, it's very hard to find balance and calmness. And so that crystal is fantastic. There's so many more. There's so many more, but you can try that. One for yourself as well. Keep it on all the time is Tektite. Keep it low down on your belly. Mark, which of your oils is best for breathing? You know, it depends what your breathing issue is. Is it from physical? Is it from emotional? I actually love the healing oil. So that's what I'm pulled to on my chest when I have any kind of issues with my chest. But yeah, you need to be a little bit more specific as well. And I might be able to answer that in a bit more detail. East Tennessee, some beautiful souls from around the world. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Really appreciate your time. Gaslighting. There's so much gaslighting now. It's unreal. And it's very, very hard to hold your ground in these kind of communities now, because everybody is got so hooked into the black screen, and to see so many people talking, it reminds me of my first mentor, who was so jealous of anybody who started to get a platform. And people get angry with people who are getting a platform and they might not be getting a platform. So the groups are aware that they can start to, you know, the pecking order starts to happen. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's like one then tries to prove to the other that they know better than the other. It's a bit like circles. I would not allow speaking in my circles, right? I wouldn't allow it, because I knew what would happen when the speaking starts. Everybody's there competing to who's more spiritual than others, right? So I know it sounds awful, but it's true. I did used to allow speaking for certain things, but most of the time I wouldn't let them, because somebody's always wanting to, you know, be better than somebody else. And that's not what Circle Night's about. Circle Night is about your own experience. So if I went to circles around here, I went to the Circle Night that got me going to begin with, but there was no ego there. There was no ego. But other circles was terrible. And then they'd come to me and ask me a question, and I'd just say, no, I didn't see anything, didn't feel anything. No, I don't really know. I'm not sure. And they'd be absolutely, it'd get them so angry, because I broke the ego within the circle. I've also mentioned this before, that I love doing one-to-one sessions with people, but groups, I don't know what happens to this mental behavior, groupthink, and how they start to become aggressive, and they start having their little, you know, it happens it happened in some of my retreats when there were 15, 20 people. There'd be like groups of people who stick together. And I didn't like that. I used to shake that up and say, okay, come on then. And then when people used to start trying to be like, trying to not just impress, but take over the beautiful creation of a retreat, somebody would try and take over, and they'd be the spiritual ones who tried to put their, and like everybody else would be coming up to me saying, I didn't come here for that person. Why are they and I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. So the only way I could knock that on the head is say, today we're going to do a day when we're not speaking at all. We're just going to think about ourselves and think about the things that we do and what we don't do. So no talking at dinner, no talking at all. And we go to bed without talking to anybody. And I did that deliberately, right? But that, you know, it's this group mentality. It's like the wolves, you know, going into packs, and I just don't understand it. That's why I've been a loner all my life. I can't do with groups. I have to think for myself. I don't want somebody to think for me. I didn't come here for somebody to think for me. I love inspiration. I love listening to the gurus, the healers, everybody. But I'm listening for the same as what I would do if I was reading something. I'm looking for something that inspires me, that helps me grow. But I'm not looking for a guru to follow. I'm not holding a Bible that I'm going to follow every day. You see what I mean? Thank you. No, I'm actually all right, Angel Heart. I'm like, I find it funny though, when I do these things, I start getting a dodgy stomach. It's like my stomach goes a bit weird lately when I've been doing these things, and I don't have a dodgy stomach, but it's like, it's weird how, it's almost like, it feels like I'm doing a healing session on a group of people who I'm pulling in their pain and suffering. I can't help it. I just do it. It's like, yeah, I do that. So after I've done healing online, after I've done a talk, I feel like my work, my body is just pulling everybody's pain and suffering into me, which then I have to cleanse and clear myself. But that's what's called a healer. Beautiful. Well done. Cheese. Ooh. Yeah, there's a tablet for that. Question. Yeah, we got a question. Jesus Christ, that's a good question. The one that I struggle with most of all is the one that whenever I share, I'll give you a great example. I started talking about an injection that I felt was going to come out, and it was going to be injected into old people and then middle-aged people and then young kids. And I said, I actually turned some cards over and it showed me the poison, it showed me the snake. And I thought, I knew it. I just knew it. You have that gut instinct and it's going to cause a lot of harm. So I sent that message out to everybody. I made my first video, and that's when I started getting shadow banned. Was 3 or 4 years ago. And straight away, I got a massive amount of messages saying that that's not spiritual. Stop putting fear out there. You should be putting love out there. And I'm thinking, are you actually really spiritual, or are you just playing at being spiritual? Have you been brainwashed into believing spiritual is that you just choose to turn a blind eye at knowing that something could or is dangerous? And actually, I'm glad that I did do what I did and stick to my guns, no matter how I was ripped and spat at and hated and smacked. I still stuck at what I knew were truth. And right now, I get day after day messages of people thanking me that they embraced what I said, they meditated on it, and they felt that it was the right message, and that they never took any of the injections, and that all their family around them are now sick and ill. And some of them say that I told all my family and they listened and they're thankful. So I get many messages a day saying how thankful they are, even though I was branded non-spiritual and evil by many of the spiritual community. Some very famous people as well who pushed the injection. It's funny how that they've changed their tune now and taken away all what they said before. They took down all their videos that they told people to take the injection, and now they're trying to jump on the bandwagon on I knew there was something wrong with this, and it's like, and people just forget. So yeah, if I see somebody being hurt, I'll run over and try and stop that person from hurting somebody else. The way this spiritual new age community is that you're meant to sit and meditate, and that's enough, because the world will change through meditation and sending good thoughts. Sometimes you're there for a reason. Sometimes you see things for a reason, and then you act upon your own instinct, not of anger, but of trying to resolve or help make a difference in the world. So that's my answer. I don't know if that helps or not. Maybe not. Thank you. I have no idea what that means. Is that a joke? Must be a joke. I panpipes. I don't know what panpipes are. I think I mentioned that. I think I answered that, Rose, right? Earlier on. I'm just going to scroll down and see if there's any questions. I don't know. I don't know about that. Hmm. I don't really know. I don't really have an answer to that. What does success mean to you? You know? Like for me, when I became a healer, I became a healer just to heal people. There was no other thought in my mind. At the end of the day, when I got paid, that was kind of a bonus. But the whole night then was all about the day of what I'd learned and how I could see a difference was made in somebody's life. But I never, I mean, I had disagreements with my wife then about money and stuff. I've never been somebody who was wanted success. It wasn't like I did any of this for success. I don't do this now. What I'm doing now, talking to you, it's because I genuinely want to help, and I don't need to do this. And I didn't need to do it back then. I could have done anything because I can put my hand to anything really if I want to, but I did it because I loved it. And I don't know. I think being a healer, you just want to do it, and there's no other reason. And I never asked about success. I never thought about success. I was disappointed sometimes when something didn't happen. And then I learned from that and thought, spirits, our rejections are spirits' protections. So now nothing upsets me. No matter what I do in my life, nothing upsets me anymore. And I'm not attached to anything. I could easily walk away from the farm. I could easily walk away from this room because none of this means anything. It's me who is me. I don't walk away from myself. I create myself. So whoever I am, wherever I go, is who I am, not what I own or who I love or anything. I am me, and working on myself may be selfish to others and difficult for others. But if somebody loves you, they will understand you. And if they don't understand you, then there's no love there to begin with. So I don't think I've answered your question, but I guess the only thing I would advise is that you follow whatever you feel is right, no matter what. Yeah, I used to have a few clients, amputees, and really healing is a wonderful thing. Going to a healer is a wonderful thing, because it really does make a massive difference healing. At least once a month, if you can go to a good healer, energy healer, you'll find that because when you lose something, it feels like that you're not complete. And healing is the only energy that I noticed that helps you complete again. So how did I describe Emma? Emma lost her hand, and it was like she was just in bits, and of course you're bound to be. But through the healing process, at the very end of about 9 months, I remember her getting up off the healing table, and she said, "You know what, Mark, the strangest feeling is?" And I said, "What?" She said, "After a healing session, each time I come, it feels like my hand is materializing. So even though it's not there, it feels like it's there." And I was like, "Wow, really?" Yeah. And I don't know what that meant, because I've never experienced losing a part of my body. But I thought that was pretty profound. I'm not sure about galactic family or star seeds. It's all, to me, they're all kind of words that I don't resonate with. I don't know what that means. Star seeds, I don't know what. It's like there was a while. Sometimes the new red is black, right? There's always a new superfood. There's always a new word. So back when I was starting, it's indigos. My child's an indigo. Like, so what you're saying is your child is more powerful than another child. Is that what you're saying? So it's like, these words for me tend to have me thinking there's ego attached to it. It's like I used to sit in circles and listen to people saying that they were Cleopatra, or that they came from Lemuria and they were a healer from Lemuria. And it's like, whenever I tried to attune to who I was, it was somebody who was nobody, like a scruff. So star seeds, galactical family, 7 dimension. It's like, I just want to get on with this dimension. I just want to get on with this life and try and sort myself out here and sort my life and be as easy to understand and communicate with people than using big words. But then again, I'm quite thick anyway, so I'm not good with words. People laugh at my videos all the time because I'll say a word that it wasn't the word I meant, or I couldn't even pronounce it right. So I'm not that kind of person. You can go to other sites where they talk about this stuff that I just don't know what the bloody talking about. So maybe I'm a young soul. Maybe I haven't achieved the kind of understanding in the lifetimes that some people may have done. So who am I to say? I ain't got a clue. But none of those words resonate with me. So that's how I feel. And I'm not meaning to offend anybody. If it resonates with you, go for it. Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? You can say that about any community. There's always somebody wanting to exploit vulnerable people. So obviously, the first one you're going to go to is the grieving community. Then you're going to go to the psychic community, the tarot reader community, and so on. The spiritual church community, religion, and so on. I think every community, like You can exploit the Bitcoin community. You can exploit people who are money mad, who are fearful of their money. You can exploit anybody. Anybody can exploit anybody, and that's where the Spider-Man saying comes: with great power, right? You understand what I mean? This responsibility we all have. You know, it. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what else to say, but yes, you're completely right. And it's a great question. What's TM? I must sound thick to people, really. Yeah, you can always watch it from the beginning, Peter. But yes, I was signing some books here and then I just had to say something. So please watch the beginning of this. And I'm sorry that I didn't start at 8. Silly of me. Slap that wrist. Anna, hi Anna. Why don't people want to find out what really is wrong with the world? Because if they know what's wrong with the world, it means that they have to get up and do something about it. Most people want somebody else to do something about it, which means that they're too lazy to want to know, and they don't feel strong enough to be able to make the change. Yeah, me too. Me too. It makes me want to vomit sometimes. I get so sick of it. That's why I kept myself to myself. And when people say interview me, oh, do you know so and so? I go, no, I don't. Oh, but do you know so and so? And no, I don't know them. Oh, you mean you don't know the spiritual? You don't know this psychic? You don't know this healer? No, not really. Keep myself to myself because I've been shot too many times. I've been slapped. I've been punched. I've been mocked and ridiculed by that very community that are meant to be loving and kind and caring. And the ego is so huge that I do talk about it too much, really. But it does piss me off. I'm sorry for swearing, but it really it's like I have to learn to just let it be. And we learn from the teachers we have. One of my teachers had a massive fear inside, so there was a lot of ego there. Yeah, they're not ready, Anna. They're not ready for it. So stop it. Just stop trying to tell people anything. You'll feel better, and you won't be hated as well. So my suggestion is that we do our work, we share it on our open platform, but that's it. Let it be. Other than that, it's hard, but you've got to let it be. Just don't try to change somebody by telling them what they need to do. Just share. There's the greatest teachers are the ones that make people think. So if you, instead of trying to tell somebody what they need to do, show them what somebody else has done to make the change and difference. So they go, wow, that's great. Oh, hang on a minute. I've got a great idea. Yeah, where did that come from? Probably Anne, because Anne posted something amazing that made somebody think about how. But when you're telling somebody to change, when you tell your child something, they never listen. And then eventually they come back and say, hey, guess what? You go, hang on a minute, I've been trying to tell you that for 10 years. So it's understanding psychology, I guess, in it, maybe. I didn't understand that. Sorry. Oh, is that money? A guy asked me for 4,000 to heal whatever my son had. Well, I mean, you obviously knew straight away why he asked for 4,000. That there's the alarm bell straight away. The sad thing is, a lot of people would have paid it. So if you didn't, well done. Yeah, hate. Yeah, it's a good point, Faith. It's a good point. Hate is a very strong word. There's a lot of strong words, and my partner is very attuned to words because she says the spells. So I get it to a degree, but here's my thought about this. When working with a crystal will hold positive energy and memory, but does not hold negative energy. So become the crystal. Don't let the negative affect you and just fully focus on the positive. But I guess it's up to us. That's why I said voodoo, witchcraft, all of the spells and curses and the awful letters that are sent to people, poison letters, they only work when we put energy into the words. So today, hate does not and is not a strong word in my life. It means nothing. It just means somebody's weak. So if I say hate, just turn it into it means nothing. Absolutely. When you hurt somebody, you hurt yourself. And this is the truth. So don't hate anybody. Absolutely. And that's where we go deeper, Peter. This is the dark hole. The energy of hate feeds darkness in so many ways. Can I kick off by asking you for your thoughts on extraterrestrial life? I wrote a book called Seeing the Invisible, and there is a chapter in the book about a guy who came to see me for a healing session that a few months or a year later, the more I thought about it, the more I realized it wasn't actually a consciousness inside there like you and I. It could have been a robot. It could have been, I don't know, but it wasn't the consciousness that we are through our feeling of love, compassion, pain, suffering, uh, children, family arguments. I felt nothing. And I believe that was not of this world inside the spacesuit. Do I believe in extraterrestrial life? 100%. I've seen too many things and seen so many things when I was a kid. A TP pond, I saw this light come out of the water when I was fishing and fly off, and it like too many things I've seen in my life. My son's also he was very much into that in Halifax, and he saw things as well. And yeah, definitely, without a doubt. Do I believe that they are another question you can ask me about extraterrestrial life? It's only another spacesuit with something inside it. So do I believe that there's one extraterrestrial? No, I believe there's probably multiple thousands upon thousands of different extraterrestrials coming from different places with different spacesuits, with different consciousness inside them, different spirits inside them. Nice. Love it, Jenny. Absolutely. They're very good at knocking on doors. I just want to go back to this and just say one thing. Religion, I have no issues with as long as they don't force their work upon somebody. So if somebody's knocking on my door, no. If somebody's trying to force feed scripture or call me evil because of their religion, no. Just no. Now, if I want to find a religion, if I'm ready to find one, I'll go and do my studying and homework, and I'll go and see what it feels like and make my own decision. But what I've always seen in my life as a child up to this moment is that they go after. people when they're at their worst. So they knock on doors hoping that one of them has lost a family member or they're in a bad place so that they can grab them. Just like bad psychics and bad healers. No good psychic or healer would ever come to you and say you need a reading or you need a healing. Just remember that. And when anybody says, I see that you need help and healing, contact me, that's a red flag. Because a true healer and a true psychic knows that if they're really in tune with the light, that they look up like I did every morning and say, if I'm ready to help somebody, I'm here. That's it. It's that simple. This is why I'm hated. This is why I'm hated, because I point out the truth to a community of scallywags. Great question. Probably the breakup of my marriage when my first wife said to me she didn't want to be with me anymore. Moving to Spain with 5,000 euros in our pocket. Having an attachment from Susie's mum's best friend down in Fuengirola, her son attached and came into me. That was, all of these things were turning points where I understood, and the pain had made me who I am. So now I don't get upset with pain. I don't get upset with trauma and anything that bad happens to me, because I realize that that's made me who I am. So the trauma is actually telling me that I'm strong enough to get through it, and that it shows how strong I am, and that I am a lion, and that from this is going to make me stronger. So it's like anything, any pain, whether it's mental, physically is another one. I don't mind getting physically ill, because you change. You become the stronger version than you were before, because your body then just strengthens you and you become different. And I noticed this in all cases of in fact, sheep farm, we're talking about it the other day. You should go to the last sheep farm and watch it, because I'm like, I'm going, these guys know what they're talking about, right? And it's true. They saw it with their own children. Soon as a child gets sick and they get better, they become a better version than what they are. They become stronger, more mature, more powerful. They change. Their mind, body, thought is more powerful. So any kind of thing that challenges us makes us stronger. That's why I don't fear anything these days. I appreciate that from Serbia. Thank you so much. I've just had some a lovely jar of I can't remember what it's called now. Mixed vegetables. Hava. I can't remember. It's beautiful. Yes, I know Serbia well. I've got a little piece of land. I've got a forest in Serbia where we're growing vegetables and fruits, and we're actually planning on creating a big sanctuary there one day. It's just beautiful. Serbia is gorgeous. One day people will understand that and go there. More people, and Serbian people are gorgeous. Again, lies, manipulations, NATO, the world, all attacking Serbia. Serbians are beautiful people. Don't believe anything that you hear on your the lies and the manipulations. At the end of the day, all people are beautiful. It's just propaganda that make you hate one another. Don't buy into it. Whenever the government tells you to do something, do the opposite and you'll live longer. The government is pure evil, and people are starting to realize that. The government is just a propaganda tool for darkness, all bought and paid for. Yeah, exactly. No, I don't. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know what any of that means. So I'm just a simple guy. Hi from Norway. Hey, Indonesia. Really? Nice. Love it. Yeah, ballet is in my heart every day. In my day. One day I may go back, but all of those 5G towers there, guys, Jesus Christ, there's something going on there. And a lot of people are starting to realize some bad stuff. Frequencies are causing a lot of people sickness there. Hi from France. That's why I won't go back. Yeah, I mean, it depends what spiritual, Dana, what spiritual means to you as a person. But you're right. I don't have any questions. That's lovely. No, I don't. I've never felt hate that somebody sent ever. But it's like the crystal. The crystal will only digest positivity and not negativity. So that's how I see it. These are good questions, by the way. How do I help them? How do? Yeah. Again, I wouldn't focus on the hate. I wouldn't even think about it. It's not even important. Just focus on the love. That's it. Just focus on the love. Exactly. That what you've just said there, Claire, is exactly life in itself, right? The lessons that we learn from the difficult situations are fantastic, are brilliant. And it's a great lesson, but you don't hold on to the suffering and pain and the hate with it. You let it go and say, thanks for the lesson. And you grow from it. That's any lesson. Yeah. And this is exactly it, Claire. I don't wish anybody hate when they start to do the hate and their anger and poison. I don't. I actually say sorry and I say, please let's just forget about it. Let's move on and let's be happy. Let's have a good day. Let's not go down this path because it's not going to end well for any of us. Meaning it's not going to end up well for you, not because I'm going to do anything, but you're going to do it to yourself. So I try not to. I sometimes can feel somebody's hate, and I feel very sorry for them because the hate I'm feeling is because I don't want them to be hurting. And there is a difference between an energetic frequency that causes you pain and a psychic energy that you can feel like we talk about the umbilical cord and cutting the cords. And it's not always because of what you think. I want to cut cords, not because I don't want to hurt somebody. I just want to let it go. I just want to move forward. There is no intent involved in healing and clearing any negative energy. It's a positive thing. But if anybody used to come to me with hate for somebody, I'd spend my time clearing that hate away and making them feel better and becoming stronger than the hate that they held inside them. If anybody came to me with jealousy, I'd change that around and make them powerful to be able to let go of that jealousy and move on with their life, because jealousy is only be fear. Jealousy comes from fear. So I'll give you a great example. I knew one lady who created a sanctuary, and the person who gave her the money to do it, sponsored her, said no more. And she wasn't a very nice person, truth be told. She was arrogant, she was egoistic, and she was quite poisonous at times. But as a healer, we don't look upon people like that. We let it go and just help the person. So she started wanting to do bad things to this person, started telling me that she was going to do it. And I said, no, 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 no. We move on with our life. We let it go. We've learned something from this, and we're going to move forward, and we're going to be stronger, and we're going to be better. And this is a great point in your life and a new journey, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Oh God, I can't believe that I was thinking like that. But then when you actually know what that's all about, is that darkness loves negativity. And if you believe in dark energies and dark entities, they're going to feed from that, and they're going to create it even more in you. So it depends how far you want to go down this rabbit hole to understanding hate and why it can turn into, very, very, very dark stuff. So we clear it. That's what healers do. We clear it. And if you feel bad, clear it. Spend time in nature, eat healthy, look after yourself, drink plenty of water, sage yourself, put oils on yourself, go for a massage, go and give yourself a treat, do anything, but get rid of that your life is worth far more. Your life is worth far more than anybody who starts to make you feel bad. That's including the black screen. That's including a single person that says negative things to you and attacks you. Just let it go. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Not really. I think anger is a wonderful thing to feel, because it gives you the opportunity to know why you're angry. So what's making you angry? Anger is fear. That's all it is. So why are you fearful? Why are you getting angry? Why are you fearful? Is it because you don't listen? This is your journey. So the tip I have for you is any kind of knee-jerk reaction is your thermometer, barometer of how you need to resolve that energy, and where did it come from, and where is this fear? Why is this fear doing this to me? And then you have to overcome it, and nobody can teach you that. Only you can figure that one out. Can take 10 lifetimes as well. Or it can take an hour. No, I don't believe the collective needs to know anything. I think the collective already knows what they need to do. And the reason why they're sad and upset is because they don't realize how powerful they are to be able to make a change, because the program's told you that it's only little you, and you've never won a race before. You've never accomplished anything in your life. So you believe them. And so, yeah, you don't really have your own thoughts and feelings most of the time. And that's all of us. We tend to put ourselves in this kind of box where, you already know, you have the answer. If I sat down with you, you could give me the answer. You know how to keep a right mindset. You know how to do it, because everything that makes you upset is the wrong thing you're looking at. Right. So I guess it's what we need to observe within ourselves. I think there's always another pandemic. I don't think it'll ever stop. One of the things that I learned at the beginning of my work was when I was talking to various people who came into my life, and there was one message that kept coming through shamans, through psychics, through people who were very, very in tune with many things. And they kept saying that the world that we live in is of good and bad, light and dark. And darkness spends all its time to try and put this world in that darkness. And the only way it can do that is keep telling us that we have bad things about to happen. And they create bad things, and they spend 24 hours a day working through human beings to create bad things every day. And most of these humans are basically deluded or very easy to possess. And most of the leaders are possessed completely. That's why you see most of the leaders, when they become in a seat of their so-called power, you see the life force drain out of them because they're basically manipulated by dark forces. So that's how it works. Yeah, it's quite easy, really. Spirit trapped in between two worlds is energies that are they're looking for something to give them a fix. They're looking for more so negative energy. Spirit world doesn't want anything, they come to give. So when spirit passes through you, when you're given a healing session, there's nothing but love and a beautiful energy. When spirit trapped in between two worlds is in a property or wherever it may be, in a pub or wherever, a church, what they'll do is they'll feed from the fear and the pain and the suffering that you go through. So a lot of the time, spirit trapped in between two worlds are in churches because they attach themselves to pain and suffering, fear. Grief is one of them as well. When you are in pain and suffering, it's very easy for spirit trapped in between two worlds to feed from that energy. We call it feed. It's not like it's eating you. It just vibrates at the same frequency. So it sits comfortable in that energy. Same with alcoholics, same with drug addicts, same with people who are doing the most darkest things, the silliest things, the low frequency. So it's that energy. When you do things at high energy, high frequency, spirit trapped in between two worlds, 9 times out of 10, not always, there's always an exception, doesn't really come near you. It doesn't vibrate at the same frequency. So spirit comes forward normally when your frequency is high, but there are exceptions when you are in a bad place or you're in a moment where you're hanging off a cliff or you're about to get knocked over. Sometimes there is an intervention that can happen. Very rare, but it does happen. And you never felt fear. You felt love and gratitude. So the point being is that spirit world has a frequency that is so beautiful, and that comes to you, that tears happen, especially when I'm giving a reading. When I used to give readings, people used to cry all the way through the reading, and afterwards they'd say, I don't know why I cried all the way through that. And I'd smile and think, that's because spirit came into you, and spirit has this great ability of somehow opening ourselves, opening our hearts, opening ourselves to letting go of the suffering and the pain. So yeah, it's very interesting. But from the spirit world, there is never any fear. If you ever have any fear of any kind of paranormal event, it's normally spirit trapped in between two worlds or negative energies or entities. I hope I've explained that right. Nice. There's loads of them. Please do me a favor. The best thing to do is go and you see, here's the problem for me. I teach that you should attune to the crystal that feels right. And I know you're going to say, but I can't feel anything. But I'm going to say, try. So here's what I do is I normally, and I don't even want to send you to my website, because then people are going to start saying, yeah, he's only doing it for the money. No. Go to a crystal shop, walk around the crystal shop, and let your child choose a crystal. Let them just say to your child, is there any crystal in here that you like? And let them pick it up. Because although I put energy into crystals for certain things like ADHD, grief, clearing grief, I have that on my website. So if you go onto markbajerski.com and click on shop and then click on the search bar and put ADHD, it will give you an idea of what crystals I've worked on to put pure energy healing in for that specific reason. But individually, if you don't go to my website and go to a shop, it's best if you let your child pick one. That would be my humble opinion. I don't know. It's a great question. I mean, what is this life worth? When you look back and think about the heroes that you loved, you sometimes realize that they weren't actually the hero that you loved. The idea of what they did was the hero that you loved. So do something that makes you the hero that you love. That's it, really. Just do something that you become your own hero, that you can look back on your life and say, you know what, I did my best in this world of insanity. That's all you can do, or else you'll just freaking cry and go mad. But great question, very deep as well. Yeah, it's very normal, by the way. Very normal. It's also connected to black. It's also connected to change. You don't want to be the person that you are anymore, so you cut your hair for a new change. So much to it. I wish I was clever. I don't understand some of the questions. Nice. Good for you. Hey. Hi, everybody. Are you still here? I don't know how many is watching at the moment. I don't even know if there's 50 of us or 20, 30. I can't even see. But I want to say thank you for allowing me to be here tonight to share this message with you. Yeah. Question. If you wear Moldavite, how will it affect a toxic person? It's a great question. Normally, for me, when I was working with toxic people, and that's normally, let's say, a wife who's living with somebody who's toxic brings the husband to me. When I've got Moldavite on, it can be very destructive, and you can see them fighting not to fight me, not to hurt me. But after the healing session, when you lay the Moldavite on their forehead, normally they're a lot better, and you've cleared that negative energy. So what I noticed that wearing Moldavite tends to bring out the worst in people. It's like when you cut yourself and you've fallen and you bruised yourself, and there's loads of bits of crap inside your arm, and it's all showing, and you get some I don't know, a cleaner, and then you put the cleaner on. It might be alcohol, it might be something, and it burns like mad. But once that burn's gone, everything's better. So I feel that it brings the suffering out of people. It brings the worst, because we call it the worst. We call it toxic, but really it's just weakness and suffering and pain, and because they don't know how to get rid of it, so they counteract it with a negative reaction. So yeah, but there's always a positive at the end of it. And you know what? I've always seen the fact that if I'm wearing Moldavite, and spirit is involved as well with this too, if somebody's toxic around me, I'm always saying thank you. Because do I want to be around somebody who's toxic and who is hiding it from me? I want to know who you are straight away. So I see it as a bonus, as a blessing, when somebody's their true colors in front of me. And I've seen it so many times that my friends have said, Jesus Christ, they're never like that. Why were they like that with you? And I'm saying, because it gets rid of the heartache of having to be their friend and realizing the pain and suffering that's inside them, that they're holding from me, that one day they're going to throw at me when we're even deeper in a relationship. So thank you very much for cutting all that out and showing your true colors in front of me now. Hey, and I'm like that in front of some people too. And then I have to look at myself. Why was I like that? Why did I react to that? Liverpool. I danced. I used to be a professional dancer when I was younger, and I danced at Liverpool. And it was a ship. It was a ship. So we had to get on this ship, and we did our routine on the ship, and we got off again. Plus, I used to go to a place called Miss Moneypenny's, one of my favorite clubs. I used to love dancing. Did I miss that? See how common that cutting hair is? I've got a lot of videos online about how to clear spirit trapped in between two worlds, and the simple answer is sage properly and sage the house well. Do it properly. Growing hair as well. There is the truth. There's some truth about growing hair. If you want to grow your hair longer and you can't, the time to grow it is just before the full moon, about 95, 94, 95, 96%. And then when you've cut it on that, your hair starts to grow even longer. If you cut it after a full moon, it doesn't grow as fast. Just boring information that might not mean anything. Mark, how do you know if you need a healing session? Because you feel shit. That's why. Because you feel exhausted. But a healing session doesn't matter if you feel bad. If you feel good, have a healing session, because sometimes that keeps your energy high. So a lot of people will only ask for help when they feel bad. But really, we should be asking ourselves for help and other people for help when we're feeling good, because we want to keep that energy high, right? So we've got it wrong. We listen to the doctors, we listen to the programming. You only go when you need help. No, no, no. You maintain your body all the time and you look after it 24/7 and always look upon keeping it maintained. Then you never need to go for anything. A lot of hair cutting going on here. 209 in the chat. Thank you. How lovely. Thanks, guys. That's really kind. I haven't had an unkind or a message said that like, whoa, that was a like, whoa. I like them all. So was it Sinead O'Connor? Oh, thank you so much, CC. It's very kind. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter because I'm so shadow banned. It's unreal. So last week I had 188,411, 490, and now I've got 188,411 today. So it keeps going down. Doesn't matter how many people subscribe, it just keeps taking them down all the time. This is deliberate, but I'm used to it now. I don't care. I'm sorry about your mum. Well, it just shows how much you love her. No, you love your mum and you grieve for the amount of time you feel you want to grieve for. So, like, it's not a game, it's not a race. A lot of people do, however, tend to grieve because of the program. So the program says that if you're not grieving, it means that you couldn't have loved her. And that's deliberate. That's done deliberately to keep us down, because grieving has a negative energy to everybody around you. No, you can't say it doesn't. It's bound to. So, but the one thing I do know as a healer and working with spirit, which is 100% true in my world, is that if you want to know what your mum's feeling, just look in the mirror, because she can't feel happiness until you feel happiness. There's a connection, and that connection is like the umbilical cord. So the day you cut the cord and say, my days of grieving ends today, and now I'm going to smile because I want my mum to smile, then that will be the day that the grieving ends. But that can only happen when you're ready. So nobody should mock or try and push you into not grieving. I never did that. I grieve for my little cookie. I think about my cookie all the time, and my little cookie was Cookie died, moved into the light. on Halloween, and one of my anyway, long-haired guinea pig, the most funniest character spirit, and my two schnauzers, they just loved each other. And the two schnauzers would be eating the food, right? And Cookie would run over and just push them both out of the way and start eating their food. And my two schnauzers would just look at this ball of fluff running around. And we literally cried with laughter for the amazing soul that was Cookie. So I still feel that kind of grieving pain for imagine. Can you imagine a little tiny long-haired guinea pig? But it is what it is. We feel what we feel, and nobody should take that away from us and tell us how to feel. So you grieve as long as you want. I don't really know what that means. Right, Mark. My mother took the 3-dart finish, like many people did. Okay, I've been told she would have died on the day she did, or was this premature? I think we move into the light when we move into the light, and that's it. I don't, on a level of, because this is a great question, by the way, and I've thought about this many times and I've asked the same question. Why do we die of cancer? All the food that we eat, all the drink that we drink. Why do we die of a lightning strike? Playing golf. Why do we die of a plane crash? Why do we die of all of these things? Well, we move in and out of this body, this spacesuit, and we either come back again or we stay in the spirit world, and that's basically it. So whether we have an injection or not, do we go? Would we have gone at that particular moment? And that's a really brilliant question. To be honest, I have this understanding of life now that our path, our journey, is one where we pre-plan everything, but everything can change depending on our free will. And I believe that is the same with I don't believe that time is relevant to the spirit world. So it's not really a thought of when this is going to happen, but while we're here, this is what we're going to try and go through. This is what we're going to try and feel. This is what we're going to try and fix. This is what I hear from my clients. So I don't put too much focus on when we die and that you died too soon. It's like saying a child died too soon of a car accident. So that just brings more grief and more pain. Look, we don't die. Nobody dies. We just leave this body and we come back again if we want, or we stay in the spirit world, depending on how we feel. So I don't put too much emphasis of, and you might say to me, oh, what if your child died tomorrow? I'd be heartbroken. But it wouldn't change the truth that these things happen, and they can happen at any given moment. So the only thing I know is eat properly, look after yourself, stop beating yourself up, stop being upset and angry with people, and just be the best person you can for the time that you live here. Because we don't know really when we're staying and going. We can look at cards and read it and try and figure it out. And that's not what I wanted to do. I want to see life. I don't want to see death. So I never saw that, and I don't want to see it. Why would I want to see that? Oh, well, prepare yourself. I don't want to prepare myself. If I'm going, I'm going. But this is what I'm going to do to prepare myself before I go. I'm going to eat correctly. I'm going to look after my body. I'm not going to be an arsehole to people. I'm going to be as kind as I can. I'm going to create and try and make a difference in the world. And that's it for the time that I'm here. And I'm ready to go anytime. So I don't fear death. So whoever dies, I'm not worried because there's nothing to fear. They've gone. That's it. Okay, I'm going to see him again. I'm going to see him tomorrow or tonight or in 10 minutes or sometime they'll come forward and I'll feel them and I know they're there and that'll make me feel better. And that's how I kind of see life. but I don't have all the answers. Have we not talked about Jehovah's Witnesses? I think all religion, to be honest, pulls forward a cult mentality. You know, if I started saying, "Oh, we're going to do this, and this is going to be the rules," and it's easy to create a cult. You know, even groups can be cults. In my understanding, that's why I won't allow it. I don't want it. So happy I found you too. Much love to you as well. Thank you so much. Have we not had these questions before? I miss my laugh too sometimes as well. But you know what? I'm changing every day. I'm a different person all the time. And I don't look upon, oh, I wish I was laughing every day. It's just what it is. I am who I am. We change as we get older. And we just hope that we change for the better. So I'm going to the right at the very end now, just looking at other things now, right at the OBE. Near-death experience. Okay, right, I understand. It does change people. I've read for must be 50 plus people who came to me after a near-death experience, and they became more spiritual, more psychic, more in tune, more humble, more kind, more loving, with a purpose, with great joy in their heart. There were some people actually who came with a different energy as well, but predominantly people came with a beautiful energy and powerful and healing, and yeah, they became healers. Fascinating, eh? But I agree. I try and answer. Yeah, you are most welcome, brother. I try to answer as many people as I can. And if you think, oh, yes, because there's a lot of skeptical people out there, there always is. You know, I'm not skipping anywhere or trying to skip anything. I think people are having conversations, which is good, like that. Jerry, I have heard of him. Yeah, yeah, his work. Yeah, he's a genuine guy for sure. Sheep Farm invited me on with Jerry, and I loved listening to him. And I got so excited because normally nobody's ever done the work that I've done. I spent years working with spirit trapped in between two worlds and entities. That was really predominantly most of my work when I went out and left the one-to-ones. So it was nice to hear somebody's objective from a point of view of they worked in an institution, that he started realizing, yeah, this is bullshit. They're talking bullshit. The medical industry. And I was sat, and what he said, you can watch it on YouTube. It's called Jerry Marzinski and Mark Bajerski and Sheep Farm. And if you watch it, you'll see my excitement when he says, because I don't talk to people about this stuff, right? So I was like, oh, yeah, I'd love to come on the show. I'd love to hear somebody's. And he said, they don't like French Gregorian chants. And I'm like, yes, it's like, it's lovely to have something confirmed that I'm not bloody crazy and that it does work. And you could see my excitement that somebody else got it like I got it. So it's a genuine guy because he got it and so did I. So it worked for him, worked for me. In fact, it worked for me so much that I went into a studio and created some music on how to clear spirit into the light or negative energy away. And it was French Gregorian chants. It could have been any Gregorian chants. It could have been any chants, but it was French Gregorian chants. And that's what he said. It was like, that was so nice. So nice. And everything that he said was bang on. I don't know about the Psalms that he talked about, because I didn't use Psalms, but I did use my own kind of prayers and this power, this strength that comes over you, and that you've got to be strong when you're dealing with this kind of entity. And I got so many stories. I could do 1 year every day for 1 hour and telling you of all the things that I've been through in houses and the effects and the after effects and what they did. But there's only so much time I have, so I try and share as much as I can. But I think, so this is a good question, right? What is a narcissistic anyway? Like it's written down in a book what they are, but it's just like the doctors telling you you've got cancer. Yeah, but what is it, mate? It's cancer. Yeah, but what is it? Oh, I don't know. It's cancer. What's a narcissistic? Oh, it's just this reason. No, it goes deeper than that as well, because sometimes we can, on an individual level, you can't tarnish everybody with the same brush. There might be characteristics, but what's the root cause of it? That's what I try to find out with people. Why is it that somebody can be so lovely with somebody and so awful with somebody else? Right? There's reasons for it. And it ultimately always comes back to them and what they're triggered by and what's upsetting them. But then you've got somebody who is actually really deeply traumatized. Then you've got somebody who's on drugs that don't tell you, and then these things happen. Somebody might be an alcoholic that they don't tell you. Somebody might be attached to the Ouija board or bad stuff, and they've got attachments, and the attachments are speaking through them. So it's a minefield. Rat Queen. It's a minefield. You see, look, this is another thing. The dream thing is a massive conversation. And I don't think many people really talk about it in the way that I understand it. I was going to write a book. I actually wrote about 300 pages of dreams and what they actually mean and what do you know if I put it in a nutshell, if I put it in one sentence, if there is one sentence, this is what I believe. Okay, I believe that this world has been infiltrated by so much darkness, so much poison, so much injections, so much negativity, that we have forgot what dreams are and what the truth is to dreams. We don't have the connection anymore, and we see little snippets of what we think are dreams. But here's my truth. Dreams are not dreams. They are, the body goes into some kind of relaxation state for the consciousness to go, and whether it goes back to the spirit world or whether it heals people in this world, whether it's doing whatever it's doing, it comes back into the body after the rest or the rejuvenation of your consciousness being able to attune to the mother of, let's say, the ocean that we come from. And whether we connect to that, whether we leave the body or we're still in the body trying to connect to that to rejuvenate this physical body, because nobody knows how we're alive, why we sleep. Nobody really truly knows. But my understanding over the years is that we have to reconnect. So we have to leave. We go to the spirit world almost. We connect to that energy. We bring that energy back into the body, and then we're revitalized. Along the way of doing that, we may stop off and do and help certain people. And we do certain things to help people in this world and maybe other worlds, who knows? But then we come back into the body and we have fragments of the memory of what we did that night. And we sometimes think, oh, crystals, what was I dreaming about crystals? Could it be that your consciousness was with somebody who was working with crystals? Could it be that so That's my kind of thoughts on dreams, right? The brain sometimes tries to reprogram, so they say, but I'm not sure about that. I think it's connected to something that we don't know about anymore, because they've killed our understanding of our consciousness and our body connection to the consciousness of what it does through the night. And I think we've lost all the great power and the ancient knowledge of what we once have. That's why some of the most amazing things that happened in this world were happened by ancient times, the creation of certain things and what we did. Why? Because we were more connected to the consciousness, and we knew that sleep was far more sacred, and there was something happening in our sleep that we've all lost, because they've lied, they've cheated, and they've burned the books, and they've burnt the knowledge, and they tell us we're stupid, they tell us we're thick, they tell us we're nobody. So again, that's a massive conversation, and I've only skipped through it, but that's kind of like my truth. Okay, guys, it's 9:30, so I've done an hour and a half. The crystals. Well, it depends where you buy crystals from. My crystals aren't cheap, because I have to work on them. Then I send them to Ballet, bring them back again, and I'm taxed very heavily here. I'm taxed not only 25%, but I'm also taxed another 22%. So I have to pay a lot of money in taxes. Plus, my delivery is free. So I'm not justifying my crystals, but hey, go down to a local crystal store, and normally you can get some beautiful crystals that are very, very reasonable in price. Because yeah, crystals do break. They can break. Of course they can, depending on how you look after them, what energy work you're doing, and so on. So, but yeah, Fluffy, if you want to send me a message at Mark Bajerski, info@markbajerski.com. Tonight, I'm going to send you a box of crystals, okay, from my heart to yours, and some oils and incense and stuff. So don't be sad. Tonight, it's your lucky night tonight. All right, guys, love you with all my heart. I'm wishing you all a beautiful evening. I hope that you've received something tonight, my love and healing. I'm actually feeling better now, so I can feel some people have been sending me healing tonight. So thank you very much. You have, and I felt it. I'm wishing you all an amazing day tomorrow, an amazing week, amazing month, an amazing year. Keep strong, be amazing, keep your eyes open, box clever, and please, guys, don't let the darkness overshadow your beautiful day. Be stronger, be wiser, box clever, and you'll always, always have a great day if you stay away from the idiots, the plonkers, and the tools in the box. Okay? Take care. Love you all. Just kidding. Bye.